Hi there, and welcome back to this foundation series. So today let's do some file organization, some basic movements and adjustments to bring what we had at the basis of the A6 to the level of the RS6. First of all, let's do a little bit more of file organization because everyone just loves organizing layers and all that, don't we? Sorry, but we have to do that. A neat file makes everything easier. So what I want to do, I've got all these canvas layers and I want to organize them. So I'm clicking on one of them, then shift clicking on the bottom one. That selects them all. Right mouse button click, and we've got new folder from selected layers. We call this A6 Avant Canvas. And now we can hide all of them at the same time. The RS7, RS6, same thing. I'll call this the C7 as well, just to make sure we're not getting people confused. I don't want any trolling there, saying, oh, you're building the C7, not the C8. Well, I am, because I find the C7 a lot better than the C8. Sorry for the people who've put all the love and effort in there and love that beast. I'm not saying that isn't a beast, but that's not the beast that I'd like to have. So I'm happy to clear this up, and let's keep on doing these nice things. So we've got the organization done there. Cool. Now we've got our curve layer here brought up. And let's see. There we go. These ones, they stay in place because we know that that is working, having the same basis there. This is why we went through the effort of aligning the canvas stuff and so on and so forth. We might do some fine tuning there because I see they're not fully lining up, but that's for a next phase. What I want now is this. We've got our nice little curves there. See those ones? No, they are the ones who are so kind to help us build these nice wheel flats. And what I want to do is go into the top view, and the next bit will be to go into move, and I'll eyeball it, pulling these to the point where they match with those black lines there. More or less, that's it. Perfect. These ones, they can move out. And what's interesting is they have a different character to the ones of the A6. So let's bring in here a pivot. There we go. And now what I'll do, I'll just rotate them in this top view so we're looking like those black lines for starters. So that's one done that way. Now what we see here is that we need to adjust them ever so slightly. So I think these can come down a little bit. These two can move up a little bit. But I'll pull these together because I want to emphasize that character of that black line there. And I will be aiming to sit on the outside border of that black line. So that's one there. And these ones, we can non-proportional scale them. So we go into scale, non-proportional, and now with the middle mouse button, I'll pull them inboard so we are matching there with those ones. And these two the opposite way. So that's more like it. These can also move up a little bit. The reason why I'm doing that, I want to have the same character on these curves. So I'll push these up because I want that to work like the black line. So it's a lot of movement here. This is why we need to learn this tool, move tool. And now I'll non-proportional scale it. So it's movement through scaling. I bet you didn't expect that one. Now let's scale these in a little bit. So that's gonna pull that area nice in. Now these will move in a little bit, and that should cover that. It looks nice. Let's look at it from the top. It's better. We might be too far outboard. We will check those things with the rear view. So let's take these two curves and let's take the rear. Now go into display and hide on selected because I want to see only these. That's a new tool for you. And of course, you see, different character. So these ones will have to follow in that way. And with control and the arrow buttons, now it was on the left hand side, I've selected those CVs and I'll push these out a little bit. This last one, I want to bring this in a little bit more, so we've got a bit of twist there. That's going to make everything look nice. Now let's see these ones. My assumption is that they will do something similar as well, so let's pull them in. Maybe not as much, but similarly. Now that looks better already. That one as well. So it might be that these CVs actually need to move in. Like that. These ones moving in as well. Up to that area there. These ones moving out. Let's check that against the rear view. Let's turn off the front view there. It's looking decent. Oddly, let's take these curves and the rear view and let's zoom in there. That looks okay. That looks okay as the front is not sticking out. So So let's stay with that for the moment. Similar stuff to be done on the front. So that, the front view. These need to move in. These ones as well. So in case you're wondering, I'm jumping to the CVs using Control and arrows. So this needs to come in like that. That flattens the area similar to the contour of that. Let's look at this from the top view. The front is now there. These could actually move in ever so slightly. And now these ones, I will deal with them like this. Push these in until they disappear like that. And move this out like this. There we go. So if we imagine that this is the volume seen from the top that hides behind it, seen in the top view. So that's what it should be doing. And this should also move out a little bit. Have a nicer shape there. So that would be it. So that's moving for you, moving CVs in the right direction. And now this needs also some fine tuning. So let's take these curves, move their pivot, and let's scale them non-proportionally out this direction. So we're hitting that line. Now let's move the pivot there. Now non-proportional scale these back so we're on in outside border there. Actually could push it just a tad in. That's about it. Now let's do some Z scaling on them. You see there's a lot of movement happening in super easy steps just by non-proportional scaling these. Now I'll take that curve and I'll non-proportional scale it this way. So I'm sitting on that line there. I'll move its pivot there, non-proportional scale it the other way around, and now a bit in Z, and that does the trick there. So we've seen a lot of movement, a lot of adjustment, pretty precise with not the move tool. So you're not moving the CVs one by one, it's just by moving everything based on its scaling. So that goes up like that as well. These non-proportional scale that direction, these two also in the same direction. So they're hitting that line just the way I wanted. These two like this. Perfect. Now this curve has to get scaled. So non-proportional scale it with the middle mouse button, that's just dragging that until it sits on that inner line there. Now I'll move the pivot to that point, and I'll do non-proportional scaling with the middle mouse button in the side view to bring the end to sit on top of that black line. That's it. That went well. Now these need to move a little bit higher. These ones as well. So that's with the move tool for you. And these two a little bit higher. That's all. We've adjusted these in a few simple steps. Surfaces followed along. That's the beauty of working with the construction history in Alias. So that's something you should read about. And now let's take these curves and these ones. Let's look at the front there. And now we can see that we can pull these out. Pull these curves out there. That's for the front wheel. I will have brought all of that around there. Now we can see that this needs to be adjusted. So I want to have this based on the wheel position there. Now I will be pulling this down. So with a move tool, pulling this down, and you see that is adjusting accordingly, moving it where it should be. I'll scale this down to there. And let's go ahead and instead of hitting global, let's hit local pivot. And that is adjusting it based on that pivot that we used there. So now we are sitting quite nice on that line there. So that's something for the new people to check out in the previous video. I'm gonna be a bit of a nasty one here. I'm not gonna explain this. You have to go back to that basic tutorial because it teaches you some, as I said, basic knowledge. I'll do the same here. So what I've done so far is try to match the outline that I've used for the wheel mock-up to sit where the front wheel should be sitting or the rear wheel. and place them then correctly. So we've got these in the correct position. So this will have transformed our A6 base for the RS6 to be worked with. So that's nice. That's all stuff that we can keep in its proper location. You can fine tune that position there. It seems to me we are off by a little bit. There we go. Now we can work with this quite nicely. Thank you for your patience. You've gone through some line adjustment, CV motion, the non-proportional scale tool, and you've seen the power of it. For the rest of the basic stuff that we've done so far, go ahead and check those out in the previous videos, and stay tuned for the next stuff coming up. Thank you.